Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast, and I'm your host. It's an early one today. As you can see, I'm dressed to go to work. I'm going back to work for the rest of the week. Don't know about the rest, but that's better than nothing. So what I need to do is get this episode out because I'm a day late. It's supposed to be done yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to finish it. So I'm doing it real quick this morning. So this is the intro for it. And the reason why I'm doing this intro is because, as you can see right down at the bottom there, uh, the website's done. All right. So I got a new website. It's called SeanDustin.com. And you can do www.SeanDustin.com, or you can just go regular SeanDustin.com. Both of them should work. There you'll be able to find, and let's roll over here, add this to the stream. So the website, you'll be able to check out the audio only episodes. You'll be able to do videos. All the videos that are on YouTube are going to be there. You can register as a guest if you like. If you got a story that you think that could be on the show, if you got a comeback story or somewhere that you have from Nowhere to Go But Up, you know what I mean? Feel free to hit that tab and try to register as a guest and see if and I'll check it out. Also, my guest appearances, contacts, all my social media are up here. So I got a blog now too. So every episode is going to have a blog post. So I'm trying to do things a little bit better. So thank you for sticking with me. I mean, it's 5 years, almost 5 years, and I finally got one. So better late than never. And also too, if you want to advertise, all of this space up here, as I'm using my webcam, but my regular camera that I use when I do most of my stuff has a lot more room up here for me to do advertising. So if you're a company, if you're a business, go ahead and look down below at the ticker tape. And, if you got a podcast, or if you're thinking about having a podcast and you need some consulting, you need some editing, you need some production, any of these things, jump over to my website, check out what I'm doing on my videos and my clips over on YouTube. Because all these episodes that I'm releasing are coming with about 5 to 6 clips after. And then the next episode video will drop with some more clips. So if you don't want to watch the whole thing and you just want to check out what's going on, jump over onto the clips over on YouTube and see. You can dive into some clips. And if you want to watch if you want to commit to the full episode, by all means, go for it. But that's available to you. Everything's in a short, and then everything is in clips. So if it's a 3-minute clip, then I'll throw a 60-second piece of that clip over to the shorts. So you're not committed to having to watch the full video now. I think that's a little bit better, to be honest with you. So that's what this is about. SeanDustin.com, new website. Check out the episode. This is with Charlie Berry. So he's another country artist, and you actually get to listen to a couple of his songs, Be Somebody, and then Whiskey Take It Easy. I play those at the beginning and one at the end. So check out those. It's a great interview conversation. Charlie talks about his struggle with addiction, also talks about his path into how he became an artist, just like our last one from Nashville. So another Nashville-based artist. All right. I think that's it. Enjoy the conversation. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast, and I'm your host, Sean Dustin. If you're watching on the video, never mind these glasses. I changed my whole studio, and so I'm still trying to figure out the glare. So please don't let that distract you. We got a great guest for you today, Nashville-based country artist, and his name is Charlie Berry. And he's got some good music that he's put out, and we're going to listen to some of that. But first, if you're listening on any of the platforms, please subscribe, rate, review, do all the things that you need to do to help support the show. I definitely appreciate it. The algorithm sometimes isn't very nice, so, I need you as the subscribers and listeners to help push this message and also, the content out to other people. So sharing is a big part of that. And if you can't help to support the show monetarily, that's the best way to do it. So times are hard now too. So, I definitely understand, if you can't help support monetarily. So please just get the message out there and share the links and all that stuff if you can. Let's see here about Charlie. So Charlie, like I said, he's a Nashville-based country artist. He got his first single in 2021. And then he does some other stuff. He's played as a background singer, I believe, and some other stuff with other artists. So I'm going to let him tell that. But first, before we get to Charlie and bring him in and have him tell his story, and he has an addiction recovery story. So that's really, the lane we're going to focus on. But I'm going to let him tell a little bit about himself as well. So the first thing we're going to do is listen to one of Charlie's songs. So let's do that. And I think it's his most recent single release, and it's called Be Somebody. Blue
jeans and red lips, the right kind of reckless. You're beautiful and then some. My heart like a kick drum. The moment you walked in, head started turning. Half of me really wants you, and the other half does too. Somebody's gonna buy you a drink. Somebody's gonna get you laughing. If somebody plays the cards right, you might write your number on a napkin. Somebody's gonna get that last dance and steal a kiss in the neon light. If you're gonna fall in love with somebody, I wanna be somebody tonight. Looking for another nice to meet you. Maybe I'll see you around. I don't want another slow burn. Now I'm taking my turn, 'cause you got something that I really want, and you got me wondering about you. Somebody's gonna buy you a drink. Somebody's gonna get you laughing. If somebody plays the cards right, you might write your number on a napkin. Somebody's gonna get that last dance and steal a kiss in the neon light. If you're gonna fall in love with somebody, I wanna be somebody tonight. Wanna be somebody tonight. Try to work up the nerve by the end of this song. Title won't take long. Somebody's gonna buy you a drink. Somebody's gonna get you laughing. If somebody plays their cards right, anything can happen. Somebody's gonna get that last dance and steal a kiss in the neon light. If you're gonna fall in love with somebody, yeah, if you're gonna fall in love with somebody, I wanna be somebody tonight. I wanna be somebody tonight. Yeah. If you're gonna fall in love with somebody, I wanna be somebody tonight.
What's up, man? Welcome to the show, brother. Great song.
Thank you.
That
Sounded good.
Yeah, thanks, man. I thought it came in a little hot and I had to turn down a little bit, but I was like, yeah, that rocks, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
So, Charlie Berry, everybody. How are you, man? You're in Nashville, Tennessee, right?
I'm in Nashville. I'm doing good. Putting new carpet in my house today. So I'm feeling good about it.
Right on.
Yeah, that's what's been going on today.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into your story of nowhere to go but up. I imagine you've got one, being through addiction and in recovery now.
Yeah, I've got a few of them. But that is one part of the story. But I grew up in Dallas, Texas. My dad sang in cover bands, so I kind of just believed that when you grow up, you go find a microphone and start singing. That was what was modeled for me. And so that's kind of what I did. And age 13 or so, I started playing punk rock gigs down in Deep Ellum in Dallas, and did that kind of through college. And after I graduated college, it was kind of Nashville or LA, and I ended up in Nashville because I love the way people write songs here, and kind of backed into country music because of that. Really did not grow up on country music. Always had songs that I liked here and there, but was never a diehard. And came here and started learning the craft of songwriting. Before that, I kind of thought you would coincidentally just stumble into a song every now and then. And getting here, man, these guys are pros in Nashville. And I've learned so much in the past 10 years being around the level of writer and musician that's in Nashville. Once I got here, I was in a band called Mockingbird's Son, a 3-part harmony vocal band. We toured around, opened for a bunch of people, did a lot of cool stuff for a band that didn't have a whole lot of success. And when that band ended, it kind of fell apart. Tried to focus on songwriting for a few years, and in 2020, my dad passed away, and it was kind of like with this artist thing. I was ready to get back to it, and it just felt like now or never. It's like life's short. I'm going for it. So I'm sad that my dad didn't get to come along for the ride with me on this solo artist journey, but that was kind of the beginning of it. And so now I produce all my songs, write all my songs in this room right here, using this microphone and those guitars, and
you're just
making promoting my music, and here we are.
You're making it happen, brother. That's the important thing. And sorry to hear about your father, man. That's got to be tough. I haven't experienced that yet, but I imagine I will be around the corner at some point.
Yeah.
When
nobody makes it out.
Nope. You're dying from the moment you are born. So,
in the Sylvia Plath sense, yes.
Yeah. All right. So, first of all, what were some of your influences besides your father? Like, who were some of your people that you looked up to and kind of emulated, and sort of your music did it take on any flares of other artists and then morph into your own, or like, what was that?
Grew up in a house that was always filled with music. It was top 40 music, and it was Jackson Browne and some of the singer-songwriters of the 90s. Always rock and roll music playing, always pop music playing, and some country too. In high school and stuff, it was Jimmy Eat World and Blink-182 and bands like that. And I still love the energy of that music. It still kind of informs, like the song Be Somebody. The amount of energy I want to convey is kind of probably comes from that direction. And then songwriters, there's a guy named Tom Douglas who became a mentor to me. And I've honestly just been trying to write a Tom Douglas song for 20 years, 15 years. I just think he's the greatest.
So you've studied other styles of writing now since you've gotten into Nashville and seen that there's more probably composition and everything else that goes into writing a song. It's just not it's not like a poem. It's more to it.
The first half of my music career, I thought that the lyrics were kind of incidental. Like, it was like you get a vibe and you get the energy going, and who cares what you're singing about. And the second half thus far has really been lyrical. And I think I focused so much on production and loud guitars and drums and stuff in the first half that at this point, that stuff all comes naturally. Like the musical influence is like, I've been influenced. And now I really focus on, what do I want to say? How do I want to say it? How do I say it in a new way? Tell that same love story in a different way.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's really what it kind of comes down to. And I've been realizing that too, like with YouTube. It's, since I like to cook stuff and, make all kinds of things, it's like, all right, well, I guess you could just take something that you get there and just make it into your own. Like use that as like your structure, and then add your own shit into it or stuff into it, and make it your own and see what happens. So but I mean, it's all. I mean, the production of anything is just, God, it's so time consuming.
I think using that same metaphor of cooking, even if you, or just going ahead and saying it with music, like even if you try to copy somebody, the human soul is such that you can't do it. And that's what makes you who you are.
Yeah.
All the ways you fall short of becoming your idols, that's it. That's who you are. That's the thing that people need to see.
Yeah, that's an
I'd love to be
perspective.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
I'd love to be Bruce Springsteen, and I'm just not. But I'm trying to be, and along the way somehow I become me.
Yeah. No, for sure. All right, so let's roll into your story of nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
That's I mean, that's it. Really, in a nutshell. I mean, addiction is a MFer, man, and it's once it gets a hold of you, trying to find your way out and navigate through that can be tough. And some people don't make it out. So congratulations first for making it out.
Thanks.
And not allowing it to cancel you and your career.
Yeah, I don't feel like I can take credit for it. I don't think anybody makes it out alone. I think that's true of life and any struggle. I guess I did have a willingness to walk out of it, but man, lots of great people helping me through life and giving me a helping hand, teaching me, showing me the way. So thanks.
No, for sure. So what was your drug of choice? Or was it drugs, or was it alcohol, or was it both?
Here's how I like to talk about it. Let's just go from rock bottom forward.
Okay.
We could talk about it loosely, but I really don't want to glorify kind of like the issue.
Yeah.
Of what I did, or how bad was it or whatever. Cause some people hit rock bottom and it's like, that's it. One time you had 4 beers and then that turned your life around. So for me, when the band broke up, kind of all these behaviors that I was using to prop myself up, keep my ego where I wanted it to be, I just came to the end of myself. I ran out of, I don't know what you would call it, cool runway, ran out of, I just hit the end of my rope, man. And kind of imploded spiritually. And looking back, I'm like, I'm so glad the band ended when it did. I'm so glad that it was just the right moment where there were people around me that could catch me, and kind of started walking out of it at that point. It was just kind of the thing about rock bottom that no one tells you. I mean, I think it's actually easy to imagine the pain of being there. I think the person who has never been there, it's easy to imagine the pain of being there. The thing that's hard to imagine is that God's down there. The thing that's hard to imagine is the freedom of everything that I could lose, I've lost. And everything I've got, I'm going to move forward with it. Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need,
Yeah.
And being able to, look inside, and cause I know exactly that feeling that you're talking about when you're at the end. It's like, all right, man, the gig's up. You know what I mean? It's like, I've been trying when you're not in your true authentic self, right? When you're acting a part,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Your ego is sucking the life and energy out of every room you come into. And you don't really remember anything about anybody that was there, only about your needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I'm not getting, who didn't notice me, who didn't recognize me, why am I not getting this, or why, you know what I mean? And that ego just takes over, and it's crippling. And and we think it's just in us, but it's vibrating out to everybody else around you, and it makes you like you're the elephant in the room.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. You know, it's yeah.
And it sucks to be there, but
Yeah.
sometimes you got to get there, you know. And when
Well,
you
I think
do,
everybody needs to.
Yeah.
I actually recommend it.
yeah. Well,
I actually recommend it.
that's what the
Blow
magic
your
is.
life up, you know, set your life on fire, whatever you need to do, you know, having to play the character that you think you need to play so that people will love you is a dangerous game. And as soon as you can rock bottom in a lot of ways is the reality of looking around and say, oh my gosh, what if they love me? That's what it was for me, you know, like, you know, and I'm not going to try to tell people if God exists or not, but I know to me, part of rock bottom was, I think there's a God. I think he loves me and there's not a damn thing I can do about it.
Now, did you have to teach yourself how to accept love from the people around you?
Yeah, it was clunky. Those, you know, the tread marks that lead to isolation and not needing anybody and just putting your head down and working harder. Those were deep. Those were deep ruts for me, and I still fall in them. I think the difference of pre and post that rock bottom is, you know, you learn there's exits. You get in the ruts again. Well, I'm not going to go all the way down to whatever town it is that's ruined. You know, everybody's going to fall into the same ruts and be the same person. And there are parts of who you are there, but you also learn, hey, I'm on that road I don't like. I'm gonna exit. I think I'm gonna try a different way. Learn new perspectives.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. You know, it's a lonely road too, because, you know, not everybody understands it. You know, it's still one of those things that's, you know, is it a mental health thing? Is it you know, I know it is, as somebody that's been through there, you know, and still, you know, falls into the same ruts that you're talking about, the depression, the isolation. You know, I'm at the point I'm kind of doing it now. To be honest with you, you know, I got laid off, and, you know, last week been off for a week, and I'm like in this period, you know what I mean? And it's like, all right, well, what am I going to do? You know, and I'm starting to see, okay, well, sleep sounds like a good idea. And you know what I mean? And so you end up sleeping, you know, half the day. And it's like, geez, I'm aware that this is going on. And it's like, all right, come on, tomorrow, let's get out of the house. You know, first thing, step out, get out of the house, because the house is your prison, basically. So.
Yeah. And I think even the ability to recognize, hey, I'm doing something here, even if it's, I'm doing something and I'm not changing it today and I need to, even if it's, you know what, I'm just going to shower today and I'm going to get back in bed. You know, those type of days happen. But yeah, I've been there too.
So as somebody who's in the entertainment industry, and if somebody else is listening and they're, you know, coming up and trying to, you know, make a name for themselves, and, you know, maybe they're, you know, falling into the same sort of, you know, lanes that you know, took us down, you know, what advice would you have for them? Somebody that's, you know, maybe struggling out there at the beginning of their addiction journey. Or I don't know, their addiction path.
Yeah. I think I would first say, do what you just did. Tell somebody. Talk about it. If you think it's in the dark, like you were saying, everybody sees. And it's not like you're exposed all the time, but, you know, what you do in the dark is eventually going to be seen in the light. And so start talking about it. Tell somebody all that stuff that, you know, you're doing that you don't really even want to do anymore. It only exists because you're not shining light on it. So first, find somebody you can be honest with. You can't be honest with everybody. There's going to be, you might tell some people that go, oh, that sucks, man. You know, and like, that's it. Go, It's like, hey, I'm struggling with this, and they're like, oh, that sucks for you. I've never had any struggles. That may happen, and that's a bummer. Keep going. There are people that are going to be like, I'm there now. I've been there, or whatever. And it really is like, it's like a cool drink of water on a hot day. I mean, it's just like, finally, and you find your people that way.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And also too, there's podcasts. There's all kinds of ways of, getting to people that are going and experiencing the same thing that you are, maybe not at the same moment, but stories, just kind of like this. You know?
I think the other thing I would say is, if you're listening to this and you're struggling and you're thinking you can will your way out of it, maybe you can, maybe you can't. I know that I don't think that addiction is a willpower issue. I think that the road away from it is through connection and honesty. Heard it said that the opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it's connection.
Who said that?
I heard it on NPR one time.
Johan
I was just
Hari.
flipping through channels, and who said it?
Johan Hari.
I love that.
Yeah, he said he also was referring to some of the rat park studies where, they fed the rats cocaine and, isolated them, and they would take it to death. And then they introduced other rats and other things that rats like to do and play and everything else. And they still had that there. And they were choosing to go to the regular water and not the other one. And so, that, and then also the opposite of addiction is connection. That's it's very true, because why do we medicate ourselves anyways? It's usually because our environment, there's something in our environment that's not copacetic with us, what I mean? And our happiness and our ability to, thrive, I guess you would say.
Yeah, or there's some belief that you have about who you need to be, or who you need to not be. That's keeping you from being honest. A lot of times addiction is that thing where they say, if they knew this, they wouldn't like me. If they knew this part, they wouldn't like me. And like I said, that might be true of some people. It's not true of everybody.
Yeah. Not one size does not fit all. That's for sure.
That's right.
In this and in anything, actually. I mean, if you even in diet. You know what I mean? It all the way down the board, everybody is different. I mean, we have the same sort of functions, you know what I mean? Biological functions of a species, but there's intricate differences within our self, our makeup, our DNA.
Yeah. The popular message now is to be a man. I can't speak about being a woman. I'm a man. This may apply to women. I don't know. But like, you need to be self-sufficient. Don't cry. Don't whatever, the classic, whatever, masculine message or whatever. And that whole like, hey man, success means doing it by yourself. That's the message that's BS. It's like, nah, you need to jump in with people and live life and, have some goals outside of any kind of career success or the path out for me was really just a totally different way of living more than it was like, I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. and I tried all that stuff, it is just a totally different approach to life. I'm not against waking up at 4 a.m. by the way. That's great. If you want to do that, it just doesn't, it's a totally separate thing.
No, I wake up at 4 a.m.
Nice.
I do.
So where are you living right now?
I am in Northern California.
Okay.
The Bay Area.
Okay. So in Nashville, it gets dark. Like, we just did the time change. Obviously, I don't know when everybody's going to be listening to this, but we recorded this around when the time change happened, and it got dark at like 4:30.
Wow.
So I'm like, honestly, I get the argument for waking up early at this point. It's like, let's go to sleep and catch some daylight, on the other side of it.
Yeah, well, it only here it gets light around 7:30 right now, or 7:30 around there, and yeah, I don't know why. I do know why, because when I'm normally working, I wake up at 3 because I'm out the door by 4. Because none of my work is close to where I'm at, so I'm on the road for at least an hour to an hour and a half commute every day there and back. So I don't know, man. It's quiet. There's nobody awake. The dog's asleep. My thoughts. If my daughter's here, she's asleep, so I can get some things done. Well, at least that's what I'm telling myself.
I think there's some magic to it. I really do. I think there's a little bit of magic in the morning that you can catch like that.
And I'm a morning person, so like I'm at my best. If I'm going to do an interview, I always request, "Hey man, the earlier the better." And they're like, "Okay, what does that mean?" I'm like 5 o'clock my time, 4 o'clock. I'm cool with that. They're like, "Are you sure?" Trust me.
Wow, I admire that.
So, let's play another one of your songs, and then we'll head on out of here and get you on your way to your rest of your evening. It's about 8:30 now, I imagine, where you're at. Yeah,
7:30.
7:30. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So,
well, but before are we closing out right now?
Yeah, we will be shortly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to say, the journey through addiction and addictive behaviors and all these different things and how it plays into music is, I was even writing songs from a place of I look back now and you could call it ego, or you could call it insecurity, or trying to be something that I'm not saying it wasn't necessarily something I'm not, but it wasn't a really true thing about me, and I do think that since, kind of walking out of the valley a little bit, you see things differently, and I write from a completely different place. I'm no longer using music to get somewhere. It's like, no, music is a good thing by itself. And trying to see the humanity in all situations with compassion. And I learned that from people being compassionate with me.
Yeah, that's good words, man. You can't, nobody can love you until you teach them how to love you. And you can't teach somebody how to love you if you haven't learned how to love yourself.
And I'm not sure if this goes with or against what you just said, but I don't think you can learn to love yourself without being loved by somebody. I think somebody coming along when you maybe don't love yourself and saying, "I think you're all right. I'm going to meet some needs. I'm going to help you. I'm going to whatever." You get a taste of it and you go, "Oh, I like that. I'm going to do some of that."
But you have to feel like you're worthy of even accepting that. And
That's true.
And a lot of that comes in, learning how to accept your own, yourself and all of your flaws and, all of the disappointments that you've convinced yourself that you've done to people, and all the things, all the stuff and the trash that falls behind and from your behaviors that you've learned and become habit, right, over your addiction. And that's really what happens. They become habits, and then they turn into behaviors, and those behaviors are not, most of them, they're dysfunctional, and they're just meant to help you survive in whatever it is that you've managed to navigate yourself into and out of and around.
Yeah. For me, rock bottom was the moment where all the feeling unworthy of love it's a defense mechanism. Mm-hmm. It's a way to survive. It's a way to keep from getting hurt. If I don't let them close to love me, they don't hurt me. Mm-hmm. And I think that with rock bottom for me was the moment that all of those defenses, learned or otherwise, just went away. And it was just like, who can help me? Mm-hmm. And from there, for me, everything you said. Learning to love yourself, learning to love others.
Is that a fast process?
I'm still in it.
That's what I mean. I'm like, it is
Yeah.
not a fast process. I mean, whew, I'm still learning how to not like be an asshole. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
that's my go-to to keep people away from me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you know, and it goes right into what you just said. You know, keeping yourself alone so you don't have to. You know what I mean? You don't.
Yeah.
In any of that stuff. So yeah, it's crazy, man. Addiction is such a frustrating thing.
Yeah.
To figure out.
Yep.
And it's mostly yourself, because the addiction is actually the byproduct of your own inability to navigate yourself.
The addiction is a symptom. It's
Yeah.
not the thing. It's not the illness. The addiction, the addictive behavior is a symptom of the, you can call it a lot of things, but a broken heart. I mean, it's.
Yeah, you never really know what's going to trigger it either. So, I mean, it's if you're out there struggling with it, and whatever it is that you're talking about, because addiction there's a huge spectrum of what that could be. You know, the fact that you know about it and that you're aware of it, I mean, that's the first step. If it's you know, ruling your life to where it's like, you know, nothing that you can do can happen without that, whatever it is. You know, when you think about it all the time, when you navigate your day around it or doing it, you know, whatever it is, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what the thing is. The rituals around whatever it is are all the same.
Yeah, that's correct. I saw it. I saw a tweet the other day that said, addiction is a gradual narrowing of the things that bring you pleasure or happiness. And happiness is a gradual widening of the things that bring you pleasure. So yeah, like you're saying, the rituals, and it all just starts pointing in one direction. It's like, that's no way to live, man.
Yeah. Hell no. Well, I'm glad you made it through, man, and I'm glad you're here, because you make amazing music. I really enjoy it. I loved what I've heard, and I want to hear another one before we close this out. So, do you got anything else that you want? Any burning desires?
No, thank you for having me. You know, it's the addiction survival story, or whatever you want to call it. My recovery story is not something that I share publicly often. And I'm glad to kind of dip my toes in it a little bit here and share that part of myself, really only with the aim of giving somebody hope if they hear this, if you're needing hope or help. I hope this moves you in that direction.
Well, thank you. And then as soon as we come from the song, I'm going to play a Whiskey Take It Easy, and
cool.
It's, you know, fitting for the topic that we're on.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll go ahead and let you plug whatever it is you need to plug, your website, whatever. Go ahead and feel free to do that. Okay.
Great.
All right, brother. Hold on, and everybody, Whiskey Take It Easy by Charlie Berry.
Another night drinking alone, just thinking about what she's thinking about. She ain't alone tonight, her girls are getting right, getting pretty now. They're going out. I know she's already on her way to you, and it's not my place, but I'm asking you. Hey, whiskey, take it easy. You probably don't know the girl pulling you close. Her heart is still breaking. So if she's coming on, double pour strong while she's trying to forget. Don't let her do something she'll regret. You're not her type. I know she's just hurt. might think of me, but she won't feel a thing. Hey, whiskey, take it easy. You probably don't know the girl pulling you close. Her heart is still breaking. So if she's coming on, double pour strong while she's trying to forget. Don't let her do something she'll regret. You're not her type. I know she's just hers. Hey, whiskey, take it easy. Whiskey, take it easy on her.
All right, Charlie Berry, everybody. All right, Charlie, tell everybody where we can find you.
Yeah, a great place to start is charlieberrymusic.com. Charlie with an IE and BERRY music.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, all that stuff. I go live on TikTok every Tuesday night if you want to hear some songs and stories. I've been liking doing that. That's been really fun. So at Charlie Berry Music, and Twitter is at Seaberry Music.
Awesome. And then all of these will be in the description on the show notes for this episode. And so I want to thank Charlie again for coming and giving us some of his time, sharing his story with us. I really appreciate it, that you're starting to open up about that, because I think it's really important for, folks out there in every industry. Doesn't matter what it is, because this affects everybody all across every lane of industry life, no matter what it is. So thanks again. Hang out and momentarily after the outro, and I need to get a little more information from you. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, brother. All right, everybody. Charlie Berry, man. God, the guy's got some great music, man. I'm not really a fan of not that I'm not a fan of country. I just haven't found any country music that really stands out and goes, God damn, I like that. But this I do. And I like his story too. So check out Charlie Berry. His everything will be on the like I said, in the show notes. So until next time, and I cannot see right now, my eyesight. 40s, everybody, are horrible. All right. If you're not 40, don't look forward to them, because they're not good. Everything starts falling apart. And you can't see anymore. All right. So, like I said, keep it 100. Stay true to yourself. Everything else is just noise.
You've been listening to the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast. Sean is a single dad, a union blue-collar guy, and he spent time in federal and state prison for drug trafficking and fraud. When he was released from prison in 2006, all he had was the clothes on his back, a bag of mail, and some paperwork. Since then, he's turned his life around and shares the struggles and successes on this podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we hope you were moved. To connect to the show, book a guest spot. For merch, Patreon, PayPal, and social media links, go to linktr.ee/nowhere to go but up. On Instagram at Nowhere to Go But Up Now. On Twitter at But Up Now. On the YouTube channel at Nowhere to Go But Up Podcast. See you next time.